Good morning, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Are you looking for a large piece of land in Maine that's accessible year-round for an affordable price? Well, come along with me today. We're going to check out 40 acres over here on the Airline Road in Township 24 MD, Washington County. Okay, folks, we're here at the landing now on the property. We have a lot of these UTs here in the state, and what that means to you is that the code enforcement, taxation, all that is done by the state of Maine. So we don't have a lot of services here, and therefore we have a very low tax rate. And I'm going to make a deal with you. Let you folks do a little research. For the first person in the comments that tells me what MD means in Township 24 MD, along with a history of the original owner who had all of this land in this part of the state, I'm going to send you a care package from the state of Maine. You're just going to have to supply me when I tell you you're the person that's got the right answer. I'll contact you through the comment section. Send me privately your name and address, and I'll mail you a package. I'll tell you a little bit more about this location here in Township 24 MD. We're in the center of the Airline Road, where it runs between I-95 and the Canadian border. This is an area of millions of acres of undeveloped forest land here, open to the public. And the Stud Mill Road, which is just north of us on Route 9, connects Route 2 over in eastern Maine to far eastern Maine, Route 1, down towards the town of Princeton and in between Princeton and Baileyville. So you've got millions of acres of forest here, privately owned, but you got access to it. The owners have kept that open, and hunting, fishing, snowmobile trails, ATV trails, rivers that are just absolutely gorgeous. I'll tell you a little bit more about the area as we walk the lot today. So now we're going to take a nice walk on this 40 acres of land. It's a great mix of pine and oak. The owner has just had a pre-commercial thinning done here to let this open up. You'll see that it was once extremely thick, not as bad now. What's left is a nice stand of pine and oak that are growing, and for future investment, what a beautiful piece of property. All right, we're gonna take a walk on this 40 acres of land. This is the main skid trail that was utilized during the pre-commercial thinning. You can see that the management company and the contractor that took care of this did a really nice job of protecting the land. They brought a lot of the limbs and stuff back here in the woods, laid them in the main trail so that the land didn't get all rutted up. So you're going to see this, everybody's like, oh, what a mess. Well, there's a reason for this mess in this trail, and it's to reduce erosion and prevent a lot of ground damage. This property here has about 708 feet of frontage out on Route 9 or Airline Road. There is no electricity here. This is an off-grid area. The soils here are a mix. There's a scary and kernel complex, and scary is a pretty well drained, loamy, sandy soil, while kernel can be a little less well drained. So you're going to have a mixture. And as you look off to my left, you can see another skid trail here where they took out some of the pine and thinned it on out. But I'm telling you, I've walked this lot. This is my second day on it. What a beautiful piece of property. As we continue in here on this trail, I'll tell you a little bit, those soils, the scary and kernel complex, they're great for growing our hardwoods. As you can see here, we've got a lot of oak and maple and some birches growing in here. But also it's very good for growing eastern white pine. And if you've ever traveled across Route 9, share that in the comments below. It's a beautiful ride. Just don't be in a hurry, because it is a pretty long ride between city of Brewer and the Bangor area over to Route 1 in Baileyville. But along the way, you see some, millions of acres of undeveloped forest land, rivers, some scenic views, absolutely beautiful, and a lot of eastern white pine. It's always been a good area to grow eastern white pine. Here's a couple of examples of the oak that are here. This one's about 6 inches in diameter. It's really tall already. It's probably 30 to 40 feet tall. Another one here. We got some pine. This is just an area that they didn't cut at all. So we got some larger pine. Here's one that's probably 12 inches in diameter. One over here, a couple over here that are 15, 16 inches. Just a There's acorns everywhere. Like I said, if you're a hunter, you're gonna like to see this oak stand that's on this land, because you're walking through here and you're seeing it everywhere. There's another oak here, another one here. I'm gonna keep walking, folks, and show you the skid road on the sideline over here on the west side of the property. We'll circle back out to the road. There is no waterfront on this land. Like I said, it's just, now it's well-spaced, open timberland. It's gonna grow really good. You probably are 20 years out from your next harvest on this property. But if you do it right, this land could produce wood for you and your future generations. All right, we're gonna keep walking. We've got some wild blueberries growing here. Pretty typical in Maine, this part of Maine. When you open up the forest, sunlight hits it and wild low bush blueberries kind of come out of the woodwork. We got deer that are digging around for old acorns here from the looks of it. Really, really nice piece of land. So the elevations here, like I said, we're up near the top of a pretty good sized hill, are between 370 and 460 feet above sea level, 460 being out near the road, and it drops down to about 370 on the southern end of this lot. Most of it, you know, it is rocky ground, typical Washington, Hancock County area of Maine, but not a lot of the big surface boulders that you find in certain areas where you have the glacial erratics. This is pretty usable ground. If you cleared some rocks here in the right spot, you have some pretty good soil for growing, you know, a food plot or some pasture land if you wanted to. But what a beautiful spot. We're seeing a lot more oak in here off in the distance. You can see them growing. Most of these trees that they left behind are between 8 and 10, 12 inches in diameter. The pine's a little bigger than that, probably between 12 and 18 inches. But if you're a hunter, this is a great part of Maine too. Well known for its eastern black bear hunting as well as white-tailed deer. You do see some rough grouse in this country as well, and lots of woodcock. We're pretty close to the coast, so if you want to take a day trip over the river, you can get some pretty good waterfowl hunting. And like I said, you got trails nearby for ATV and snowmobile. I don't believe you can reach them directly from this property, so you'd probably have to trail a little ways. Hey, as we continue to walk, don't forget, like, share, and hit that subscription bell down below. Put on all notifications. We don't want you to miss the next video. Maybe it's going to be the perfect property for you. What's in this area? Well, lakes. Oh my, we got Mopang Lake just north of us, a deep cold lake with cold water fishery. We've got Pleasant River Lake just down the road a couple miles. That's the headwaters of the Pleasant River. Pleasant River, along with the Machias River, which is about 5 miles east of us here, are two coastal rivers that at one time had some pretty good Atlantic salmon runs. They were some of the original wild fish strains here in Maine. The Machias River is a great canoe trip. It's got areas that would be a little more advanced for an amateur paddler, but if you are starting to become an experienced paddler, it's probably worth taking a nice trip down there. There's a couple different places you can put in and take out along the way. That's a beautiful river with some wild brook trout in it. We're over here at the western side of the property now in Township 24. We did find a couple big glacial erratics here. Probably the cameraman got some view of that for you. The foresters have flagged this line several times. There's some flagging here that's really old. Some of it's new from this winter's last thinning harvest. Not a whole lot of evidence. There's an old scar on this pine. We did find a corner pin out at the road. This was fully surveyed, but it's been about 40, 50 years since that survey was done. So the land's well described as far as its acreage and its lot size. There was a small taking done out on Route 9, but it didn't really affect the acreage all that much, probably very insignificantly. Let's walk back out the road. We're about 1,000 feet in here on the western line from the road. We're gonna go out and wrap this up for you, give you price and all the other details. Other things in this area, there's a lot of public reserve land that's open for all kinds of recreational uses. You got the Machias River public lands 5 miles down the road. We got the Great Heath, which is about 7,000 acres, beautiful paddle through the Pleasant River. It's a kind of a dead water in there, beautiful place to paddle, see ducks and geese and wading birds. And we've got, like I said, all those lakes to our north. Atlantic Canada, St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada is 44 miles from this location. It's a pretty easy ride over to Route 1. Once you hit Route 1, you're just a few miles down the road to the border crossing. So nice part of Eastern Maine. We're back out here on the Maine Skid Trail, and we're still heading back out to our driveway entrance on Route 9. Hey, back to the truck. Thank you for taking this tour with us today at the Airline Road on this 40 acre. This is lot 16 in the Mopang division. Let's wrap this up for you. The property is priced at $55,000. The taxes are a whopping $48 a year in tree growth. We got 700 plus feet of road frontage on the paved road. You open year round, got a driveway entrance in, a small building lot started, some nice regeneration. You got to come see this. It's not going to last long. Give me a call at 207-290-0372.